Ellen and Jacob had been together for 2 years when they decided to take a romantic vacation in the mountains of Colorado. They had heard stories of the area's beauty and decided that it was the perfect place to get away and reconnect. The first few days of the trip were perfect. They went hiking, explored the nearby towns, and enjoyed the peacefulness of the area. But things began to take a darker turn when they went on a night hike. As they ventured deeper into the woods, they noticed an eerie silence that was almost too quiet. They quickly realized that they were not alone, that something was watching them from the shadows. Ellen and Jacob quickly hurried back to their cabin, but the feeling of being watched lingered. The next morning, they decided to explore the area a little further. As they walked, Ellen began to hear faint screams in the distance. She grabbed Jacob's arm and told him that they needed to get back to the cabin. Once back at the cabin, Ellen and Jacob were startled to find that their door had been kicked in and their belongings scattered throughout the room. They quickly searched the cabin, but there was no sign of anyone. Ellen and Jacob were terrified, but they knew that they had to get out of there. They packed up their belongings and began their trek back to civilization. On their way, they noticed that the trees were getting thicker and the sounds of the forest seemed to be getting louder. Eventually, they stumbled across an old cabin in the middle of the forest. It was abandoned, but they decided to take shelter there to rest and figure out what they should do next. As they stepped inside, they noticed a strange symbol painted on the wall. It looked like a circle with a cross inside of it. Ellen and Jacob were too scared to stay in the cabin, so they decided to keep moving. As they continued through the woods, they heard an old man's voice coming from the trees. He warned them to stay away from the cabin, telling them that it was cursed and those who stayed there were never heard from again. Ellen and Jacob were horrified and ran as fast as they could. They never found out what was in that cabin, but it was enough to make them never want to go back to the mountains of Colorado ever again.